Let's try this again. Sorry, you probably all didn't see what happened there earlier. Hey, I'm allowed to have some technical F-ups every now and then. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing again? We're going to try this again one more time with my intro. Hello. Oh, Christ. My name is Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and co-host of Wrestleview Live alongside Adam Martin, editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, where we cover all of the major WWE pay-per-views. And man, this week's been weird. This week has been awkward. This week has been confusing. This week has been frustrating at times. But we're going to make it through. Hey, CJ. Hey, Jamel. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. It has been a gorgeous 70 degrees outside. Just beautiful, beautiful day here in Charlotte, where I went to this thing last Friday. Last Friday night, I went to this little thing, this New Japan New Beginnings wrestling show last Friday over at the Grady Cole Center. And it was a weird one. Basically because, because of the government shutdown, they were not giving out visas to the Japanese talent that would have been appearing at this show. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how awkward and how oddly entertaining this show was. I've got a lot of thoughts about this one. And honestly, I had a lot more fun at this than I did at All In. I know. Can you believe it? But though I have some gripes about the show and some gripes about the matches and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll get into that later. What are we, let's see. Oh, Jamel says, according to his sources, the Tedescos are leaving Wrestleview, and so am I. I am here to say that I have not negotiated my contract yet. Talks have been very tense. Paul and Adam are insisting that I remain in this drunken, logical wrestling fan gimmick when I would rather just let me be me and be a sober conspiracy theorist. But, I don't know what the Tedescos are up to. I don't know. I only hope that they choose to stay with Wrestleview because what they do is contingent on what I do. Okay? Because we're a group. Okay? Like, if they are the Young Bucks, then I am the Hangman Page that will just casually trot along wherever the hell they go. So, yeah, there you go. We are drinking from the Chalice of Truth, is what I am calling this glass. It is the Chalice of Truth, and it is a Leinenkugel Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. It is very, very sweet for a porter beer. But we're just going to sip on that and nurse on that because I hope to not be as destroyed as I was last week. Oh, God. I really felt last week's show the day after. 4 shots of tequila because I don't know shit about professional wrestling. And 2 glasses of Johnny Double Black on the rocks will make anybody very toasty. Jamel says that Tedescos are going to Pro Wrestling Sheets. Mike is tired of the hokey shit in Victoria Wood's reduced schedule. Well, I can believe that. I can believe that. Though no one has as hard of a work rate as I do. I am the workhorse of Wrestleview, and I should be booked as such. I should be treated with as much respect as such on the shows that I'm on. Because that is all you people would know. That's all anyone would know being in professional wrestling and trying to run a news site. And that mostly all that you really effing know is what's on TV. And you try to make inferences on what's happening on TV. But this drink is very black. Yes. I hope this turns down my whiteness on a couple occasions. Though I don't know. I don't know. I should be editor-in-chief, but Adam's holding me down. No, I don't know. The last thing you want me to be doing is running a wrestling news website. No, that's the last thing you want to do. No, 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 no. I have sources, but I like to keep them to you. I like to. Wow, that was weird with my hands. I only like to give them and bestow them upon you, the loyal Wrestleview Weekly viewer. And we are now 1 week past our 1 year anniversary. So hot damn, this has been a hell of a year doing this show, and I hope to continue to do this for many more years. I really, really like doing this show. On the show today, going to be reviewing really awkward episode of Monday Night Raw. Awkward is the best word that I can think of to describe this week's Monday Night Raw. A very ho-hum episode of SmackDown. Yeah, to me it was just going over lots of news that you would like to think is news and debunking a lot of stuff that is not actually news. Also going to be going over the milk carton injury updates, major injury updates that was confirmed and denied by performers on the interwebs. And also updates to the this thing, the Wrestleview whiteboard, because yes, this show is all about fantasy booking. And as professional wrestling fans, we love to fantasy book. And we love to try to confirm and, just spread logic around why we think our booking would work, why it could happen. We also like to trash others' ideas when they are just infatuations and just great visions, but you shouldn't consider them booking. You shouldn't consider it fantasy booking at all. You just call it a nice dream. That's the difference between those two. Yeah. If you saw it on the Facebook, the Wrestleview Media Facebook page, kind of caught me at a bad time after being on the Twitter and seeing all kinds of utter BS. And then I stroll upon our page to see the kind of stuff that I would see on Twitter. Yeah, I had to put a kibosh on that, okay? Twitter and Facebook, especially the Twitter, is so full of people and their masturbatory fantasies of what they would like to see, but they don't really say why they would like to see it other than they just say, oh, it would just be cool. No, all of my stuff and the booking that I do that's fantasy booking, I don't do because it's cool, okay? None of this is cool stuff that I would like to see. It's stuff that I'm predicting will happen. What would I like to see? I would like to see nothing but at WrestleMania, it being 4 hours of nothing but foreigner heels. Okay? I would like it to be 4 hours of absolutely nothing but, Rusev reverting to his old gimmick and trashing America for 4 hours. Him riding around in a tank, up and down, New York City. That's what it should be. Okay? That's and I don't do that because that's not fantasy booking. That's just my wet dream. And my wet dream does not need to be on this show. What needs to be on the show is what I think is going to happen at WrestleMania, where ironically, one of the matches that I booked for WrestleMania actually happened on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, that we made changes to last week. So I have got to switch up the thought process on how to book WrestleMania here. So we're going to be doing that. And also I'm going to talk about the New Japan show where I actually say that I had a better time at this than All In. With no Japanese talent. There was only one Japanese talent that was there. That made his U.S. debut was the Great O-Khan, which I think it's just supposed to be the Great Khan, but I don't know how the Japanese are pronouncing it. It was Great O-Khan, which kind of a play on Irish and or Arabic or something. I don't know. But I had more fun at this New Japan show than I did at All In. And the crowd had a lot to do with it. We'll get into that later on in the show. But till then, on to the show. Pay-per-view record of 8-6. I hope to change that because next week is the go-home episodes for Raw, SmackDown, and the go-home show for this show as we go into Elimination Chamber 2 Sundays from now. And I'm hoping, since the last go-home episode that I did was just such a magnificent spectacle, is the best way to put it, hope to get a guest host on this program. If only they would answer their texts. I just hope that they've re-signed with the network. Hopefully they'll be available. That's all I can hope for. Because we don't know. We don't know. I mean, they're being respected. But if they don't want as hard of a work rate, this is why you come here, where you can be you. And you can drink as much as you want to. On to the show. On to the show of the Red. I think. Yes, it is. Yeah. So here's the Braun Strowman choke slamming a Drew McIntyre onto some stairs. This Jamel saying, I quoted, "I don't owe anyone shit." CJ Doug Packed Wrestling. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my own thing here. This entire episode of Monday Night Raw to me was incredibly awkward. So many odd visuals, odd interactions, odd matches, very tepid reactions from the crowd. And this is something that you would come to expect when you're in Portland. Portland, Oregon itself is not exactly... About 6 or 7 years ago, around about the time when I debuted with Wrestleview, the WWE was making a hardened effort to try to tour in Oregon again. Okay, they were making a concerted effort to get back into the Northwest, not just doing Seattle or Olympia or stuff around Washington State, but they also wanted to tour in Oregon, in Portland in particular, just because how their touring was going to be. You know, when they're all around California and they'll go to Las Vegas, they may go to Salt Lake City and around there. But you've got to have something in between when you're on your way to Seattle and Olympia. And so they really, really wanted to cement a stop in Oregon. And ever since they've cemented this stop, every show they've done there, the crowd has been very lackluster. And what I mean by lackluster, I mean like they're sitting on their hands. They just seem confused, you know. Portland fans and anyone who's fans of anything that go to the live show that's over there, I don't know how you get them to be enthused. I don't know what you got to do. But whatever you got to do, you make sure you don't do what the WWE did this Monday, because, oh crap. Okay. Portland are a bunch of hipsters. I don't want to try to lump and stereotype how everyone in Portland is. You know, everyone's different. But, man. Show starting off with Stephanie McMahon. She's about to invite Becky Lynch out, but Becky comes out on her own accord, interrupting Stephanie making a grand entrance. And introduces her down, and she wants us to, let's take a look at what happened at last week's show. Before I go any further with this segment, it already started awkward. When they do, you know, let's see what happened last week, it's usually they either do that before the show officially begins, you know, and then Stephanie would come down to the ring, or it's before she calls Becky out to the ring. You know, they show the video montage, and then Becky comes out to the ring. But with the two of them in the ring, and then Stephanie says, "Look what you did last week." That already seemed weird to me. Because we don't usually get that to where the authority figure says, "Look what you did last week." That was weird. That was really, really weird. And so, let's see. They talk about, Becky, you got a lot of reasons to smile. You won the Royal Rumble match. Now you're going to slap Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And Stephanie says that after what Ronda did to her, she wants to see Becky do just that. And can't help but notice that Becky is wearing a knee brace, and she asks if Becky's fine. Becky says she's fine. Then they show all the stuff that she did at the Royal Rumble. Steph says that for the past 8 days, Becky's been refusing medical attention. Lynch says that even on one leg, she'll fight anyone, anywhere, but no doctor is going near her. Steph says that she remembers the night Nia Jax injured Lynch, and she's all heart, but she'll do anything to fight. But Stephanie says Becky, she cannot physically compete if she isn't cleared by the WWE medical staff. So Becky says that's a glitch in her plan, but she's not moving for nobody. Becky says she's fought her entire life to get where she is, but what would Stephanie know about struggle? And yeah, you turn it on Steph and yada, yada, yada. Becky says there's nothing Stephanie or a doctor can do about her competing at WrestleMania. Stephanie says that it's a liability to let her compete, and all she has to do is go see a doctor and get cleared. But unless the knee is worse than she's letting on, and even if she doesn't believe her, Steph says that she cares for Becky. Steph tells Becky to go see a doctor. It's not about tricks or games. It's about her health. Steph says, Becky, if you don't go see a doctor, I'll have no choice but to suspend you. Becky says that she won't be responsible for her actions. And so, effective, Stephanie suspends Becky. At the behest of Stephanie, just asking why she didn't understand why it was so hard. Why won't Becky just go do it? So, yeah. They fight and everything. Becky slaps Steph in the face. Steph in the corner. Becky tries to go up after her, and Stephanie kicks her in her bad knee. Takes her down a little bit. Pretty decent start, but again, I've got a problem with just how that started with just the, look what you did. That's kind of weird. It's just me. The comparisons between Stone Cold and Becky Lynch are warranted. They're justified. But let's not go too overboard, okay? Let's just go ahead and say it right now. Becky Lynch is uncorking a Stone Cold Stunner at WrestleMania. Yeah, she's going to uncork one of those. Yeah. Will she uncork it before WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't know if she would do that. Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan. This match lasted only about a handful of seconds, and then Sarah Logan would get in there to face Ronda Rousey. That lasted about a good 10 minutes. Fed into a commercial break. Then Ruby Riott stood on the ring apron after those two matches, and nope. She says backstage afterwards that no. Tonight, Liv and Sarah are hurt, and they need Ruby, and they'll do anything for each other, and that's something that friends do, and that's almost something an opportunist like Ronda knows nothing about. Jamel says maybe if Vince somehow gets involved, she'd give him a stunner. Well, maybe. The backstage segment with Ronda and Becky. Yeah, there was a backstage segment, wasn't there? Yeah. There was a little thing backstage. Yep. Being escorted out of the arena, Ronda goes up to her. Ronda says that she is a professional who is doing her best to sell their match at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch, beating up Stephanie, did not sell their pay-per-view and is robbing the Women's Revolution of their main event at WrestleMania. Ronda calls her unprofessional, tells Becky to stay home and rest up, and to ice and Advil, bitch. Ooh, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Going to be Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey at Fastlane? Oh, probably. That's a very good guess. That's a very good guess there, Jamel. I'd definitely take that into consideration. Backstage, Bayley and Sasha Banks they're just saying words to each other, and then Charles Caruso comes in, asks if their losses against Ronda Rousey have impacted their mindset moving forward. Bayley said, "Together they're strong." Sausage says that they'll win the women's tag titles as Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross came in, and Nikki and Alicia say words. You Elmer Rudd-fuckers. That's what I always call Rudd-fuckers. I didn't call them Fuddruckers, I call them Rudd-fuckers. Another four-way tag match, this time on the Raw of the Red Persuasion, also involving Heavy Machinery. And this is now not an elimination-style match. This is just a regular four-way to determine who's going to go against Gable and Rude for their tag titles. This one was just not as fun as the one on SmackDown. And it honestly has to be because of the teams that were in it besides Heavy Machinery. Maybe it has to do with just the continuity and flow of the match. That are just the teams. I mean, let's face it. Heavy Machinery, New Day, Usos, and The Bar sound way more appealing in a four-way than Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, B-Team, and Revival. This showed, hands down, the disparity in the tag team divisions between these two shows. Right now, just treat the tag division on Raw as filler. That's all it is. Jamel saying the Revival sure are doing a lot for a pair of jokers who requested their release. Yeah, they sure are. They're on TV a lot for a team that's wanting to leave. I'm just shocked that the Ascension wasn't in this. I really thought the Ascension would be in this match before B-Team or Lucha House Party. But what are you going to do? I just wanted to hear Ascension's theme music. I love their theme music. But the Revival would end up, they would be winning the match, and they're going to go against Rude and Gable again. Yeah. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are backstage. This was a nice little get-together powwow, little therapy session for the two of them. Ryder says that they'll be in that match next time, to which Hawkins tells him that he's toxic, and if he had a different partner, he would have been in that match. Ryder says that last week on the graphic they were coming out, they misspelled my name. We're going to get that win because we're a bunch of losers. So, yeah. This is what I really want to go with here. Even though it's just one sentence, to again show you how awkward this show was. So after the Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder therapy session, Kurt Angle's walking backstage, gets hugs from Mickie James, hugs from Apollo Crews, because, wrestlers like to hang out in the backstage area along folded up tables and cranes, and, they just like to stand around in nowhere. They just like to stand in nothingness. That's what they do on their free time on the television show. So they get a hug from Mickie James, gets a hug or what's up from Apollo Crews. And then as they're about to fade out, No Way Jose is standing right there, and he just gets a shake of the hand, I think, or a high five, or doesn't even get that. He's hardly even noticed. Kurt Angle just walked right by the kidnapper, while Mickie James and Apollo Crews get all the attention they can ever afford from Kurt Angle. Poor guy, okay? Why aren't we seeing No Way Jose? Because no one even notices him, even on the show that he's supposed to be on. Seriously, check it out. I mean, I'm not going to look it up on here. I'm not going to go to my Twitter feed because Lord knows what's going to show up on Twitter. But he just walked right by No Way Jose. And I'm just going, okay, this is going to be one of those shows, huh? Okay. Kurt Angle, Karen Borbin, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman are in some kind of segment here where, Kurt Angle comes out and he's sounding all sentimental and he's kind of sounds like he's going to retire. And then suddenly Drew McIntyre first Karen Borbin comes out. He says blah, 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 blah. Always he just wants Kurt to wrap it up. Does he want everyone to feel sorry for him? Yeah. Does he want everyone to feel sorry for him? Corbin says Kurt did this to himself. This speech should have been his speech at the Hall of Fame, but he had to go and sign a contract and be a general manager. He tells Kurt he's supposed to make matches, not be in them. But he's nothing but a broken down shadow of a man. Kurt says this broken man will break his ankle in two. Brian asking if I'm still at the New Japan show. Well, it's almost as quiet as it. Maybe. Not sure. Drew McIntyre's music hits, and then this time 1 minute he was ready to move on, and 2 minutes after he was ready to fight Corbin. People used to look at Kurt and would see a warrior, but in their match, Drew looked in his eyes and saw fear right before he tapped him out with his own ankle lock. He was humiliated. But the thing about Kurt is that there's no quit in his body. So Drew says Kurt will keep showing up until someone does something drastic and tells the crowd to shut up and get their cameras ready because this is going to be the last time they're going to see Kurt Angle. And Drew McIntyre and Karen Borbin start marching down to the ring, but then Braun Strowman's music hits. He makes the save. New drinking game, take a shot every time Seth Rollins will point at the WrestleMania sign. This was because clips were shown of Seth Rollins and why he's important, even though he's not on the show, which led people to believe that he's hurt. Even though he had performed on the show last week. Again, breaking news based on the reports that we've seen from the television show that you're watching. Sasha Banks' music hits and Michael Cole says it's boss time, making this show doubly awkward, even though he does that every damn show. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross. Elimination Chamber qualifying match because there's so many women on Raw, they got to have qualifying matches, but on SmackDown, not so much. Are you a team? You're in. The land of opportunity will give anyone an opportunity as long as they speak up. Yes, Bayley and Sasha Banks won, so there you go. Way to build up Nikki Cross only to have her lose what was pretty much a handicap match. They didn't pull the trigger on Bayley and Sasha, and I doubt they'll do it at Elimination Chamber. That is very, very wishful thinking from gentleman Mr. Roy. That's very, very wishful thinking. Apollo Crews is backstage. Ask him if he's surprised Kurt Angle's competing tonight. Apollo says he's glad, and Crews asks him why he's glad. Because Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. He's allowed to have a few bad matches. Then Razor with Drake Maverick show up, taunt Crews about how his Olympic hero has no chance to win. And then Razor and Crews just kind of stare at each other and huff and puff. Why aren't the Iconics in? The Iconics are in. They announced themselves over the week. So, yeah. Iconics are in this match. Now for the incredibly awkward part of this show. I don't really want to go over all this stuff about Jeff Jarrett coming out to do a match with Elias, because this is all really out there to me. I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know what the justification is for this. Hi, Gills. Hi, Gills fan. Hello in the chat room. I don't get this. We did such a great job building up Elias as a babyface. I mean, you had him make the turn on Karen Borbin. The crowd loves him, But then suddenly just last week you have him turn on the fans, and now he's starting to make fun of them again. And is it all really just for this Jeff Jarrett comeback tour thing? I mean, how long is this going to be going on? And more to the point, do we really need to have Jarrett and Road Dogg singing the stuff that we remember from our... Not many people that are watching this show know who Jeff Jarrett was in the WWE, nor do they remember what the Road Dogg was before he was the Road Dogg. Hi, Jake. This is all really awkward to me. This Jeff Jarrett thing. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Elias wins with his drift away thing. Now what are you going to do? Okay, so you got this out of the way. Road Dogg is getting in the ring after the match, and he starts to beat up Elias with Jarrett behind Elias. He hits Elias with the guitar, taking him out. Why? I thought they were the good guys. I don't... So how are you going to build from this for next week? Man. I hope they got something really big in store for Elias, because this is something really, really tough to come back from. You know? Don't get me wrong. I mean, yes, it was neat to see the I Member segment of Jarrett and Road Dogg, but we didn't... Who was calling for this? Why did we need this? Was this something that was negotiated in Jeff Jarrett's, Hall of Fame induction from last year? Is this one of the reasons, like, Jeff Jarrett, we want to bring you into the Hall of Fame? Okay, but I got to have a match sometime before the end of the calendar year. Is this what we did? We couldn't have done this earlier? No, we had to do this because of the Royal Rumble. I don't know. It's just weird. And what's more is watching this match, the commentators sucked. Oh, God. None of them could hold it in. There were so many fits of silence between everyone, and then that further elevated the silence of the crowd. The crowd was silent throughout this whole match. The whole thing. People in Portland don't care about Jeff Jarrett. If you did this segment in Tennessee or Georgia, Florida, maybe. But, man, this was... Ugh. This was just bad all around. Bad every angle. Bad. Natalia's backstage. Dana Brooke walks in, and Dana apologizes for last week how they lost. Dana says she realizes how important the women's tag team titles are to her. Natalya gives Dana the silent treatment. Dana says that she's going to go find a McMahon, make a match for next week to prove her that she belongs here. Dana walks away, and Natalya takes the earbuds out of her ear, pulling a R-Truth. Yeah. By the way, in 3 weeks, Ric Flair is going to be celebrating how old he is in Atlanta, which is going to be 1 week ahead of SmackDown being in Charlotte. That's right. SmackDown is going to be in Charlotte for, is it the 26th? I think it's the 26th. Yes, it will be the 26th. It will be the episode of SmackDown in between Elimination Chamber and Fastlane. So, is Doug going to be going to SmackDown? Maybe. I might. Just depends on how my work schedule is. If I can get it off. Get that day off. I'm not sure. It's really tough because I've been doing a lot of days off from work for covering this thing. Taking a Friday off from work, it's really hard to negotiate doing that. So, yeah. We'll see. Charlie Caruso's backstage with Fonz Balor. Asks if he's ready for his match against Bobby Lashley. He smiles and says yes, basically. Perhaps Rick's birthday present will be Charlotte being put in on the Becky match. Maybe. So, Here we go. So Fonz Balor is in the ring. Lio Rush says Bobby Lashley can curl dumbbells heavier than Balor. He shouldn't even be talking about the Intercontinental title. Lashley says that Fonz couldn't beat Lesnar, and Lashley calls himself better than Bork. Lashley says he can beat Lesnar in the ring, in an octagon, and in his sleep. Balor doesn't deserve to be in the ring with him, but he needs to start beating people his own size, so Lashley says that Fonz doesn't have a title match against him. Instead, he's going to fight Lio Rush. And if he entertains him enough, he just might think about giving him a title match. Lashley with a shot on Balor before the bell rings. Lashley went after his ribs. This was a nice little fun match. Lashley would interfere in the match, and normally what would be a DQ, the ref instead throws him out and lets the match continue, and the Fonz beats Lio Rush, only to have Lashley bum rush the ring, but then Balor gets out in time. So, yeah. As the Fonz is going up the ramp, Paige's music hits. Everyone's going ape shit, but she's only out there just to tout her movie. So, sorry. All that shit you're seeing about, Paige should come back and do something. Paige should be a manager. Paige should do this. Paige should do that. No, she's too busy promoting her movie. Shut up. She's not going to be doing anything. She's not going to be doing jack. Okay? Stop it. Moment of bliss. Let's keep the awkwardness going on Raw. The moment of bliss comes up, and her guest, Bliss's guest, is EC3, who has yet to say a word at all. And Bliss just has that look on her face like he's young, good looking, and has a very large bank account. Asks him if he's going to be on Raw or SmackDown, but then she's interrupted by Nia Jax. Nia Jax comes out, and she just reminds everyone what she did at the Royal Rumble match, and now her and Tamina are qualified for the Elimination Chamber. She starts making fun of Alexa and Mickie James because they both lost the match. But then after that, Dean Ambrose's music hits. Okay, are we going to get word about his contract? Are we going to get any word about anything that's going on with him and his contract and his status at the WWE on this television show? No. He comes out. Jax tells Dean, "How dare you interrupt my interrupt?" Ambrose tells Alexa he's sorry, but he didn't want to be out there. But it's obvious that Nia has a crush on him. She's not the first one to have a crush on him. It'll be hard for her, but for her to stay away from... She asks her to stay away from me. Dean asks Alexa who this guy is, points to EC3, and just as EC3 was about to talk, Ambrose slapped the microphone out of his hand. Ambrose asks EC3 what it stands for, where's EC1 and EC2. Asks why he walks backstage like a mute Chippendale dancer instead of getting in the ring. EC3 punches Dean in the face and then makes his way to the ring where we're having the Raw debut of EC3. EC3 would win this match and celebrate by leaping onto the guard railing, where everyone around him is still sitting down and have not leapt up. He leaps onto the railing. The people sitting behind him did not get out of their seats at all. They just sat there and looked at him like a hi. No reaction at all. None. This was one of the most awkward episodes of Raw I can remember. So awkward. No reactions. No nothing. People sitting on their hands. Wondering when the cotton candy vendor is going to be coming by again. CJ, I totally agree. There's nothing wrong with them going to Portland. There's nothing wrong with making a pit stop in Portland, but have it be for house shows. Never do TV tapings in the state of Oregon again. Never. I hope this is the final time. Because, man, the past tapings they've had in Portland have been horrible. Horrible. Mojo Rawley is sitting in a dark room. He's talking to himself. He's having a Stuart Smalley moment again. It says from college to the NFL to Wall Street to WWE, they've always wanted him to be in a team, but to forget the team, it's now all about him. That's kind of the same stuff he said a long time ago when they tried him as a singles competitor a year ago. Yeah, you remember that about a year ago, roughly. They put him in programs with Bobby Roode and so yeah. Right now, they should only do TV tapings in the state of Washington. Make pit stops in Oregon and Boise, Idaho, or just Idaho, wherever, just for house shows. There's no point to do a TV taping in between California and Washington. Oh God. And finally, your main event: Drew McIntyre and Karen Borbin versus Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle. The DQ. There would be a DQ. Stuff just got out of control. We had a big schmoz. Braun Strowman started choke slamming people or power slamming people onto steel steps, and that's how we would end the show. Ending to a very awkward episode of Monday Night Raw. 68% giving it a thumbs down. Yeah, this was a rough one. This was a rough one. Not as bad as ones that we had 2 or 3 months ago. But again, I blame the crowd on this one and some booking ideas. But Jesus Christ, never go to Portland again. There's nothing in Portland. Nothing. Nothing worth staying for. SmackDown, the Blue Show. Coming to us from Everett, Washington. Brought to us by, Mike Tedesco taking the helm on the SmackDown review. All right. Charlotte Flair's music hits. She comes out to the ring. She shows the replays of what Becky did on Raw. Says the only thing more dangerous than ignorance is arrogance. And last night, Becky's arrogance got the best of her. Refused medical attention. She beat up Steph. It was her rogue behavior that got her suspended. Flair sarcastically hopes that Lynch is better for WrestleMania. And Flair starts to mock the Becky chant. Flair says that she knows someone who's 100% healthy and would love to face Wanda Rousey at WrestleMania. Starts pointing at the sign, but then Becky Lynch starts coming out of the crowd with her nose stuck up just like she always does. That's kind of getting obnoxious. You know, the whole stuck-up nose thing now. Yeah, Charlotte was fantastic in this because Becky gets in the ring. Then those two start arguing and stuff. And Triple H had to get in between them. Triple H makes his entrance. Tells Lynch that she's suspended. She needs to go home. If she goes to a doctor, she can have the suspension lifted. Charlotte's laughing at Becky, so Triple H just turns to her and just goes, "This doesn't concern you. Get out." And suddenly that just caused everyone to go nuts because everyone on the internet thinks that Charlotte's going to be shoehorned into the main event. Yeah. And the whole thing, Triple H keeps telling Becky to go see a doctor. That's all you got to do. Lynch says that she doesn't trust any of this. Triple H says, you don't have to trust it. This is what it is. This is what it is. You got to go get you see a doctor. Dad had to come out to set everything straight. That's right, Jamel. That's what it was. It was the two sisters arguing, and Dad had to come out to break it up. Oh, man. CJ giving the quote from Charlotte. It's one thing to steal my father's catchphrase, but it's another to steal Roman Reigns' entrance. Becky asks how Steph is doing to Triple H, and did Triple H make sure that she was medically cleared after Lynch punched her in the face? Punched her. And finally, but what makes the segment great is then we get the storytelling from Triple H. Triple H storytelling and monologues are fantastic. He reminds me a lot of John Cena synopses or summaries. You know, John Cena go-home summaries going into a pay-per-view. It wraps everything up in a bow, helps you understand the characters, the motifs, and everything that's happening. Triple H gets in the ring, says he didn't see it until now. Triple H bought into the whole I'm the man crap like the crowd did, but the truth is Lynch isn't the man. It's a lie. Lynch is just a self-destructor afraid of failure. Lynch smiles back at him, and Triple H says that I can see the look in your eye. Lynch knows, and you know I'm right. Triple H says that Lynch is looking for a way out of this. That's why when she got her career pinnacle moment by getting a match against Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series, she recklessly came to Raw, found her way out of it. Lynch then came out, blamed the doctor. Lynch called it medical prison, but it was more of a convenient excuse. Triple H tells the crowd to shut their mouths. It doesn't concern you. Now Lynch scratched and clawed to get an opportunity at WrestleMania against Rousey, but now she's again looking for a convenient way out. Truth is, Lynch is just afraid to go to the doctor and afraid of what the doctor might say. Triple H doesn't. I don't even think you're injured. And is this just an act to find a way out? Because Triple H says that Lynch, you're afraid to see a doctor because the doctor will say that you are healthy and you can go to WrestleMania. And you're afraid that Ronda Rousey will expose you for the fraud you are. Triple H said she just continues to smirk, and Triple H says, Lynch, you're afraid that she'll prove everyone at WrestleMania that Becky Lynch fears Ronda Rousey. Just great stuff. Becky would then wapow, which would cause Triple H to kind of get right in her nose. Fantastic segment to start off the show. Great way to just wrap all of this up for easy consumption. Just great. Great way to start it off. All right. Footage is shown R-Truth beating Nakamura and Rusev and having the U.S. title. So right now we're going to have this tag team match of the Good Brothers versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. If the Elias swerve is confusing to you, the Rusev swerve is even more confusing to me. Was this just a way to try to shoehorn to get Nakamura on TV more? This sure as hell wasn't an excuse to get Gallows and Anderson on TV. This is weird. This is very weird. Are we expecting them to go for tag titles now? Or this just be back scratching of sorts? You know, this is just weird. That's all this is. It's very, very weird. There's Anderson doing flippity stuff outside of the ring. Whee! Nakamura and Rusev would win this match. It's kind of weird, you know. And, Jamel saying they sure are putting Nakamura on TV a bunch for a guy who's leaving in February. Oh, fucking A. No one has the sources that I do. Makes no sense. Everyone's leaving. Everyone's contract is expiring this year. Everyone's contract is ending well around WrestleMania time. When WrestleMania is done, no one is going to be on the WWE roster. Everyone is gone. Everyone. Everyone is gone. Because it's so weird that the WWE signs all these contracts and they have them all happen to expire at the same time. Crying out loud. Mikey saying average tag team match, and it sure was. And I'm kind of with him. I don't know why they killed off Rusev Day. I don't know. Again, it's just to keep Nakamura on TV and give him something to do. I guess that's the real reason. Let's see. Mustafa Ali is backstage. He has one of those little backstage promos where it's all backlit behind him. Paige is backstage. Thanks to fans. And oh, by the way, I've got a movie coming out. Watch my movie. Miz TV is debuting next week with their special guest, the Usos. So, to hype that up, the Usos talk all gangster rap-like to get us psyched up for their appearance. Mustafa Ali versus Randy Orton. This was a match. This was a match in that somebody got a little shiner. A really big shiner. Here we have Randy Orton doing stuff too. Mustafa Ali's back. Putting him on the table. But the big thing, Mustafa, of course, he just never stops. Whee! I don't know where we're going to see the injury, but yeah. Mustafa ends up really getting a really bad shiner on his eye. That right there. I want to keep that spot right there. That was fantastic. Okay. The match was really fun between these two, but that spot right there, where the commentators like Graves and Saxton, they would emphasize this going, Ali, for how young he is wise beyond his years to see that Orton would go for an RKO at that spot. That was fantastic. Told a fantastic story between the two of them in this. And you would think there's just another throwaway match going into Elimination Chamber where everyone has the one-on-one matches that are going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. I totally get it, okay? But this actually told a decent story for Mustafa Ali to show that this guy, he may be a young guy, but he's a kind of a smart guy too. So, yeah. Really good spot. But speaking of spots, we get the RKO. Yeah. Though he kind of just, Ali just kind of leaped off for Orton to catch him. It was a fun match. It was a nice little fun match. Oh, by the way, just because Mustafa Ali lost, that means he's buried. At least that's what the internet says. I don't know what it is, man. The activity of stupid internet has been so obnoxious for the past 3 or 4 weeks. You know? Seriously. Oh, yeah, and also after the match, Samoa Joe comes out and he starts putting Orton in the sleeper, Coquina clutch. Samoa Joe's leaving the ring, walking up the ramp, but then Daniel Bryan comes out and he's about to talk to some peoples. Samoa Joe then stands in the same backlit backstage area that Mustafa Ali was in to talk about how tonight was about retaliation, and in the end, ends will justify the means when he holds up the title at Elimination Chamber. Daniel Bryan comes out and he talks about his Elimination Chamber match, how it's not fair, and, you know, but the big thing about this segment with Daniel Bryan is that we get to hear Eric Rowan speak. I got to see if I can find some quotes here that he would give. Not sure if they really do. I want to see if he does. Where is it? Where did he put it, Mike? There he is. Rowan says, anyone who has read about the life of Galileo knows that great thinkers like him and Bryan are considered dangerous because of their ideas. Their ideas all have good intentions, and that's why people fear them, especially Bryan, because he holds the title. And as long as Daniel Bryan is WWE champion, they'll try to silence him. The crowd says, what, during Rowan's speech, and that just pissed Daniel Bryan off. CJ saying Eric Rowan is eloquent as hell. Yes, he is. He is a very, very well-spoken giant man. Okay. I got a feeling this is why he's in this spot. This is why he is in the character that he is now. It's not just to be Daniel Bryan's protection. It's because the guy can talk. It's just the problem is the characters that he's been in, they don't really do a whole lot of talking. Sheep Boy of the Wyatt family, don't talk. Bludgeon Brother doesn't really need to talk that much. They just go out and beat each other up with hammers. This character that he's in right now, with Daniel Bryan, he can use his eloquence, the cadence of his voice, the delivery. He has fantastic delivery. Okay? And especially with Daniel Bryan saying that Eric Rowan is the intellectual equal of Daniel Bryan, which means that if he uses big words, it's justified. Are we done with the Hammer Brothers? I don't know. I don't see why Luke Harper can't join the Planeteers. And I love it, Daniel Bryan saying that he is the planet's champion. That's fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Great promo. Tedesco saying it felt like Bret Hart being face in Canada and heel in the U.S. Excuse me. Yeah, because he came out and they introduced him as the favorite son of Washington, Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan goes, finally I get to talk to people who understand what I'm trying to do here. And the crowd pops for him. They give him the yes chant and everything. Yeah, he was a face during this promo. He was a face during this. And I kind of like that, because they don't really go to the Northwest that much. So that's cool. That's cool to do. Jeff Hardy is seen backstage with his weird face paint, and AJ Styles walks up and says, Hardy, you've been here a while. With Hardy's recent history, is he really the guy to represent that title? Hardy says with Styles' recent history, the real AJ Styles can't beat the new Daniel Bryan. Styles, well, maybe Hardy missed the bald Sasquatch in the ring. Back and forth between them. Carmella and Naomi are making their entrance because we are going to get a triple threat tag team match involving the 3 teams from SmackDown going into the Elimination Chamber. Any mention of Bret Hart causes you to yawn? It's happening right now. Fabulous Glow is what Naomi and Carmella are known as. They faced the Iconics and the team of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. All 3 of the teams got to say how great they were before this match went on, and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville win the match. How'd they win the match? Like this. With a sit-down with a glam slam thingy. Not much of a tag match, just trying to build up for the show. That's all they're trying to do. Daniel Bryan versus Jeff Hardy is going to be happening in a little bit. But before we got that, we got Andrade sitting on a chair and Zelina walking around, circling him, talking about how Mysterio is a folktale. It's a myth best left to books written about the past. What Andrade did last week was stamp out a legend, not because he wanted to, because he needed to. And you can't fight fate. And a video package plays about SmackDown Women's Champ Asuka, because you need to be reminded that there are some women who are not doing this tag team elimination chamber thingy. Yeah. Every woman is tied up right now in a program, and here they all are from SmackDown. You have the 6 women in the Elimination Chamber match. Becky, Charlotte, Asuka. Right there, your entire women's roster. That's all of them. All of them. So what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing with Asuka? We have no clue right now. And it's too early to tell. We still got well over 2 months to go to try to build something up for Asuka. In a non-title match, Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan. It was a nice little back and forth kind of thingy. Your winner by DQ was Jeff Hardy because Eric Rowan pulled Jeff Hardy out and threw him into the steel steps. That's why. But then this would cause a schmoz. Samoa Joe would come out. Then Mustafa Ali would come out. Eric Rowan got himself a handful of Mustafa Ali and put him on a table. AJ Styles would come out. Everyone's coming out for the schmoz, and that's how we end the show. Kind of a ho-hum episode of SmackDown, except for the beginning, the opening segment, and the monologue by Daniel Bryan. Not a lot of matches to jump up and down about. What did I think of the show? It's kind of a meh episode. I'll give it a thumbs down. If I think meh, I'm going to say thumbs down. What was it? 81% giving SmackDown thumbs up. Wow. This seems to be very, very consistent. That SmackDown is always well above the 75% when it comes to approval, whereas Raw is well below 75% in approval. They're lucky to get 50. But it's always the more popular show, so what are you going to do? We're moving towards Asuka versus either Sonya or Mandy, CJ says. I don't know right now. I don't know who we're going for right now. People love the Bryan stuff in the opening segment. And yep, that's kind of why I thought it was a decent show. But it's meh to me. There's got to be a little more to it than just that. On to news stuff. Actual news stuff. Not rumor stuff, actual news stuff. As reported earlier last week, Hideo Itami is believed to have had his final match with the WWE after requesting his release following the 205 Live taping in Phoenix. He changed his name back to Kenta on the Twitter, posted a simple thank you message. Mike Kanellis giving him respect. Peyton Royce pictures with him. Billy Kay. Yeah. No Way Jose with him backstage saying thank you. Steve Corino. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty safe to say he's calling it a day. He's going to be going back to Japan. The guy, he just misses his home. It's home. It's just home. That's all. See, you guys are fantasy booking the SmackDown women, huh? We're going to get to that with the WrestleMania whiteboard. Okay? Keep those thoughts in you because I still have a match for Asuka at WrestleMania, but I'm seriously questioning it now. Time for your news from the glorified t-shirt company, All Elite Wrestling. They're going to be holding a ticket party in Las Vegas this week is when they were holding it. They're doing this tomorrow. Some double or nothing ticket party. So, yeah, whatever. Attorneys for Jerry the King Lawler filed 2 subpoenas to investigate the death of his son, Brian. You may remember, let's see if we can find it here. The death of his son. He was pronounced dead last July after an incident in jail. What appeared to have been apparent suicide attempt. Article by Fox 13 notes that Rosenblum, who is the lawyer hired by Lawler's family, says that, quote, they are to pursue a civil rights claim against Hardman County and the deputies that were supposed to protect Brian Christopher Lawler. These subpoenas are part of a civil action. So basically they are, this is a civil lawsuit against the deputy department. They've got a case here. They've got a big case. Baron Corbin talks about how it took him a while to get his head shaved. Chris uploaded an interview with Baron Corbin where he talks about a few pretty interesting things, including how it took 8 months to get approval to shave his head, and how he wanted to get a head tattoo like Bam Bam Bigelow, and how he loved getting booed. But the 8 months about getting the approval to shave his head. I went and talked to Vince about cutting my hair at one point, and he was like, not yet. And then I went and talked to him again, and he said, we'll see what we can do. I think it has to go through the legal department and stuff like that because it's on action figures and video games and all of those things. It's not just one person saying, okay, you can do that. If I would have showed up with just my head shaved, I'd probably be out of a job. Yeah, that's what it is. It's about your likeness. Yeah, he couldn't just show up and just get a brand new haircut. Couldn't just do that. Why is my stuff not loading? Because Kevin Owens is back in the ring preparing for a return. He just noted on the Twitter that he is already back in the ring, and he worked a match with Adam Cole, presumably over at the Performance Center. He said there he just wrestled Adam Cole for the first time in 4.5 years, and there was exactly one spectator. He gave it 51.25 stars. Fantastic stuff. Kevin Owens is going to be due in the ring soon. Very, very soon, we're hoping. All Elite Wrestling, the glorified T-shirt company, has claimed, Chris Jericho claimed that they signed Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. And, wait a minute, how do we know? Oh, well, hey, what do you know? They were signed. So, more T-shirts to buy. More T-shirts to buy out of All Elite Wrestling. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson had an interview with this Chris guy again, talking about the club ending and about their thoughts about AEW. I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't. That's neat if you like that stuff, the club stuff. It's honestly really run its course. It's really run its course. Killian Dane issued out a tweet here. Talked about being at home this weekend and not on the road. About last night, my tag partners were with SmackDown in Vancouver and my wife with Raw in Regina, whereas I'm at home. Was it something I said? Where is sanity? That is a great question. I don't know where the hell they are. Why isn't sanity being used? Why? Because it's really clogged on SmackDown is why. That's why. First inductees for the class of 2019 WWE Hall of Fame were introduced, and they are the Hart Foundation, because the WWE just had to throw something out there right now to keep everyone quiet. They had to put something out there. Because Bret Hart's already in it. Jimmy Mouth is South Hart is already in it. Jim the Anvil Neidhart is in it, I believe, as part of the Hart Foundation. Whatever. So this is a weird story. This is a weird one. So a couple of days ago, WWE is promoting an international superstar shakeup for their upcoming Montreal tapings. They're going to be going. The company's going to hold a Monday night and a Raw and a SmackDown taping on April 15th and 16th. They're calling it the International Superstar Shakeup. Already advertised for this April 15th event is Bobby Lashley defending the Intercontinental title against Seth Rollins. But, quick, someone do some Wikipedia searching. When is WrestleMania? Is it the week after? Is the week before this shakeup? I think it is. Because if this is true, then April 15th and 16th is when the Superstar Shakeup will be happening. But they tacked the word international on it. That scares me. That really, really scares me. Okay. First weekend of April? Okay. I'm thinking Owens and Zayn are going to be returning in time for WrestleMania. That's going to happen. Let's see. So, yep, April 15th. Okay. Yep, it's going to be not the Raw following WrestleMania, but the one after it. Okay, that's when it is. So, oh, international superstar shakeup. I'm afraid of that. I'm really, really scared of it. Only because I'm reading too much into it, because I fear they'd be doing stuff with NXT UK, or they'd be bringing people from other. Yeah, I'm reading too much into it. I really need to stop. Gotta stop. 70 years old is how old Ric Flair is going to be when they do their show in Atlanta 3 weeks from this week. They're going to be doing a big old celebration about it. It's literally because of Canada. Yeah, that's why I thought. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just because Canada. Normally, I don't do a lot of Ring of Honor news on here, but Jay Lethal broke the record for most combined days as Ring of Honor champion. He has now held it for a combined 646 days, surpassing former world champ Samoa Joe. So, yeah. Good for that guy with the Cheeto Munchers and the stuff. What else have we got here? What else are we talking about here? Come on. Oh, yeah, here we go. Check out 205 Life Series. It's found on Vimeo here, I guess we can see. Really cool little series of videos that they do regarding the 205 live shows. But it focuses on Hideo Itami in his final 2 weeks of the company. So, yep. Pretty cool stuff that they're doing it that way. You know. Oh, Ring of Honor announced the signing of some guy named PJ Black, who used to be known as Justin Gabriel, who's just a reckless son of a gun, who apparently grew out his hair, found a bandana, grew a beard. Yeah, what? Sure. Knock yourself out. Who is this grinning little nerd? That's Charlie Coulier. Or Collier. I think it's Collier. It's not Coulier. That's Dave Coulier from Full House. He is the Fox Entertainment CEO, describing how SmackDown on Friday has been, quote, short term. This is all according to PW Insider, who are fantastic news gatherers. Fox Entertainment CEO Charlie Collier was part of a presentation to media at the 2019 TV Critics Association this week and addressed WWE programming. SmackDown, which will appear on Fox this October, was described as being the first change in replacing Fox comedies on Friday night. Collier added that SmackDown on Friday night would be a, quote, short term, leaving the possibility that it could be shifted to another night. The show is still expected to remain live when it premieres on the broadcast network later this fall. In something that has been heavily rumored up until this point, Collier confirmed that other WWE programming could be featured on Fox Sports 1 cable outlet. While nothing has been announced, the expectation was that WWE would be getting a show similar to the former UFC Tonight that would highlight programming. Of course, NXT programming could also be a potential option. Stop it. No. This needs to be said right now. When it comes to the television deal involving Fox and the WWE coming up this October, will there be other programming on Fox networks other than SmackDown on the major broadcast Fox network? Yes. Yes, there will be. It is not going to be NXT. No. No, 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 no. It is just going to be a highlight show of all the stuff that's happened in wrestling with them for the past week. It'll be a Raw and Smackdown synopses show. It'll be a summary show. Stop it. NXT is not going to be, I will lock that. NXT will never see the light of day on any major television programming outlet. Never. That is one of the selling points of the WWE Network. Apart from pay-per-views, that is their number 2 selling point, is NXT. So stop it. Stop it. If anything is going to happen, they may do, the Saturday Morning Slam. I don't know about that, CJ. They bring out WWE Challenge or Superstars or Main Event, that stuff. No, it is not going to, for the love of God, it's not going to be NXT. Sorry, it ain't going to happen. All kinds of the rumors and stuff that I have been bitching about all day today. Okay, about contract news regarding AJ Styles and the Usos and Dolph Ziggler and, apparently, according to PW Insider, whose sources are worse than mine, because their sources are just lukewarm. PW Insider provided contract updates on some of their current WWE talent. One of them was AJ Styles, who's reportedly in discussions with the company about a new deal. The report noted that the WWE is making a, quote, strong play to keep Styles, but of course, given his prior relationship with the Young Bucks, it's no secret that the glorified t-shirt company would have interest. Styles did deny a report on Twitter that he had agreed to a new deal with the WWE, stating, "What was that? Are you sure? Please let me know more because I know nothing about this." The Usos are the latest names whose deals are set to expire in April. The former 5-time champs are in discussions about renewing. Dolph Ziggler will reportedly continue a relationship of some kind with the WWE going forward. He hinted that in an interview before the Royal Rumble. So, contract notes, who the heck knows? Who knows? And also, another name signed up today with the glorified t-shirt company, and that is Jimmy Havoc. So right now, I think that brings the roster of talent for the t-shirt company to 12 and a dog. I think that's their roster, pretty much. So that's the news, or what some organizations like to call the news. Where I just like to say, sure it is, sure it is. On the injury front, at least we'd like to think it's on the injury front. So, Post Wrestling has provided a series of notes regarding the WWE stars who are currently battling injuries following the Royal Rumble. One of those was Seth Rollins, who was pulled off of live events and isn't expected to be wrestling for the next at least a month on television. While details of his injury remain unknown, he's said to be dealing with something prior to the Royal Rumble. The Joker was on Twitter denying that he's hurt. Sasha Banks was not cleared to wrestle on Raw the previous Monday after her match at the Royal Rumble, but Banks is cleared for this week when she teamed up with Bayley. AJ Styles was described as being dinged up and is not expected to miss any time. Someone brought up that he was having a hernia, and then he was on the Twitter denying everything about it. Everyone has been on the Twitter denying everything that is being reported by all of these outlets. Okay? People need to stop it. Just stop it. The only times you really know sometimes when a wrestler is injured is when they report it themselves. Like Mustafa Ali, who apparently injured his eye during his match against Randy Orton. Yikes. Sucker is swollen shut. That's going to make for some great character progression for this guy. Seeing him with an eye patch underneath that glacier mask? Ooh, sounds like good stuff. Can we have him wrestle with an eye patch? Can he actually be like an Arab pirate? That'd be so fantastic. But yeah, yeah, not good. Not very good. Okay, so what does that bring us when it comes to the injury front? Jason Jordan still out with his neck injury. We have no idea what's going on with him. Sami Zayn, 2 rotator cuffs out. He should be back in time for WrestleMania. Kevin Owens had cleanup surgery on both of his knees. He should be back in time for WrestleMania. And he's doing some matches with Adam Cole at the Performance Center right now. Fandango, torn labrum. He should be coming back sometime this month. Roman Reigns has been battling leukemia since October 22nd. Harper, wrist injury. Not sure when he should be back, but it should be very soon. Same with Ty Dillinger. They were both injured at around about the same time. Akam, knee surgery. He will be out until probably May. We're looking at May or June until he'll be back. Ember Moon, emergency elbow surgery. Not sure when she'll be back. Hopefully it'll be in time for WrestleMania to do something. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Might be time for folks to chill out on using the Twitter. Well, yeah. I need to chill out on the Twitter. I need to stay away from it. It does nothing but make me angry. I just go on there just to find boobs and funny stuff. Seriously. But speaking of funny stuff, those are the people that are hurt. But what about the people who aren't hurt? What about the people who have not been on TV for at least 3 weeks and are perfectly healthy? They are on the WWE milk carton. Once again, these are people who are perfectly healthy, who have not been on television in at least 3 weeks. Not much of a change has happened since Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble was a grand reset button for the milk carton. With this one, Akam right now is hurt, so nope, forgot to take this picture off. Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, we haven't seen him since a battle royale on New Year's Eve. Guy just does stuff whenever. You know, he does a lot of promotional stuff for the WWE. He does a lot of stuff with, Xavier Woods and his up, down, down stuff. This I don't get. This I do not understand. Why we have not seen Sanity on television since Christmas. I don't get this. Okay? We need to thin the herd on SmackDown. Get these guys on TV. They haven't done anything to deserve not being on TV. Epico and Primo Cologne. Same with them. Not so much. We haven't seen them since Survivor Series. Since November 18th, we're approaching 3 months with them. And it's going to be coming up close to where they'll be shoehorned into an episode, and then we won't see them again for another 3 months. Matt Hardy says that he is not retired, that he has been greenlit to perform again. When? I don't know. He said he was retired. His wife said he was retired. Well, around September or October. What's going on there? And what the hell's going on with this guy? He showed off having a custom belt done by the same guys who did Daniel Bryan's wooden belt. Haven't seen him since SummerSlam. I thought he was going to be at the Royal Rumble. What's going on here? Should we care? He's still under contract with them. He's still got the letters of their name on with his stuff, so I take it he's still there. When's he going to show up? I don't know. Who knows? Sources, I get bad sources every once in a while. I don't know. I really, really don't know. Oh, all right. So that's the milk carton. I got to switch over to the other thingy. Switch over to this other screen because now it is time. And I got to go into my settings here real quick. Hopefully I can do this. Load up for me right now. I love doing this kind of stuff live during the program. I'm going to switch me around to like this because you guys need to read what I've been writing because it is time to show updates to the WrestleMania whiteboard. Since the Royal Rumble, I have been booking WrestleMania. Fantasy booking, not doing what I would like to see at WrestleMania, but what I think is going to happen at WrestleMania. Okay? And this is what we all do as fans. We all do this, okay? You don't like it? Find me a wrestling fan who doesn't do this shit. Seriously. You know, it's fun. It's fun to talk about wrestling and the matches you would like to see and what they could potentially do. Me, I like to talk about what they could potentially do. It's not about what I like, okay? Because again, if it was about what I like, it would be full of nothing but people doing leg drops on the American flag. So, later, Jamel. So, here we go. WrestleMania whiteboard. All right. So, hopefully it's not too bright. We can kind of read it there. Okay. So, Bork versus Seth is a go. There we go. WWE title ladder match is what I'm looking at. I have no idea who the opponent's going to be. I have no clue. Rousey versus Becky is a go. We got those two going right there. Asuka versus Charlotte is still a go. Could still be a go. Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title. I am thoroughly convinced this is going to happen. United States title clusterfuck match with R-Truth having the title. You know that's going to happen. There we go. Raw Tag Team Clusterfuck. No clue what's going to be happening there. SmackDown Tag Team Clusterfuck. No idea what's going to be happening there. Miz versus Shane McMahon. No DQ match. Definitely seeing that happen. And down below, Dean Ambrose versus Triple H in a hardcore match. However, this match right here, I booked this in a drunken haze last week, and it ended up being the main event on Raw. So, we need to do some updating. We need to do some updating to this thing. So, what are we doing? There are a lot of names that are missing from this card. Specific names. But also what's missing is a women's tag team title match is missing from this card. Yeah, Gills fan. Samoa Joe seems to be going after the heels more lately. Face Joe versus Bryan. No, I don't know about that. Got a weird effect going on with this here. Names that I'm not seeing on this card that are scaring me right now. AJ Styles. Potential John Cena, but he's hurt right now with a bum ankle. Undertaker. Could still do a match. Yeah, there are some names that are missing from this. And I'm not sure what I want to do here. But on top of that, I kind of want to put Charlotte in the main event against Ronda and Becky. Because that's what everyone is fearing. And though I have no problem with it either way. But I can see why they would book Charlotte in the main event against Becky and Ronda. It's come full circle when it comes to her character against Becky Lynch. How Charlotte shoehorns her way into everything that Becky strives to achieve. It's not about the McMahons want to have Charlotte in the main event. It's because character progression. That's what it's about. And I got a feeling that's what I'm going to have to do. I got a feeling it's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, changing it up a little bit. Changing it up a lot. All right. So we're changing it up. We're doing the triple threat. Becky and Charlotte and Wanda Wowsy and Asuka. So there. God, it's really hard to do this thing. Really hard. Don't know if you can see it. I need to get a darker marker. Rousey, Becky, and Charlotte. Asuka, I got no clue. I need to get some darker markers. I'll redo this whiteboard in a little bit. But I still don't know what I'm doing with this blank match that I've got for a grudge match. You know? I don't really know. I used to think it was going to be AJ Styles and Triple H, but then we got stuff going on with Dean Ambrose here, so U.S. clusterfuck ladder match nonsense? Yeah, that's definitely going to be happening, Frank. And I don't know what the hell we're doing. Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe? Maybe? I don't know. They have been giving Samoa Joe a lot of mic time. My thing is, I have nothing for AJ Styles. CJ says he still sees Asuka versus Sonya or Mandy. Well, could be a triple threat in the works right there. Who knows? It's just I don't see any inkling of that happening right now. I don't know. I just need a grudge match right now. I need a grudge match of some kind. I don't have Braun Strowman in this card. I don't have Kurt Angle, nor Drew McIntyre, nor Karen Corbin. What if SmackDown Women's title is a clusterfuck? Well, it could be. I think right now, this blank space is going to have to be for the women's tag. Yeah. It's a safe bet. I don't know what it's going to be. It can't be a clusterfuck. Braun Strowman versus Lars Sullivan would have been my grudge match. Well, we don't even know where the hell Lars Sullivan was going to be placed at. We don't even know what show any of these NXT jokers are going to be at yet anyway. We have yet to see Lacey Evans in the ring. You get that? Have yet to see Lars Sullivan in the ring. What the hell's going on with that? I'm concerned about Lars Sullivan. I'm really concerned about that guy. Okay. So I'll make sure I need to get a black marker so that you guys can see that stuff a little more clearly. Clearly. All right, finally. Got to talk about this show that I went to last Friday. Over with New Japan Pro Wrestling, their New Beginnings show out of Charlotte, the Grady Cole Center. Pardon me while I bring up some neato keynote photos of where my seats were. If you can kind of see there, up top there, that top row. Oh God, why are we doing this? What is this? No, don't do it like that. Let's just do a swiping. There we go. Let's try this again. Where are my pictures? I had such nice pictures. It is a nice picture. It is nice. Where's my New Japan? There we go. There we go. Show is kind of fun. Granted, no Japanese talent. It was all really American talent. About three of the young lions that are from their LA dojo were there to perform. It was a very interesting show. For one, it's very difficult for me to watch New Japan or Ring of Honor or any of these things at house shows because of the 7 matches that they had at this show, only one of them I would say I legitimately could tell who was the face and who was the heel. Okay, who the bad guys were and who the good guys were. And that was the match involving Lance Archer or Lance Hoyt, you know. The rest of the show, I mean, the matches just seem to be very, like, watch what these people can do, the honor, the respect. But what struck me about the show was the crowd. The crowd had to have been not but maybe 1,000 people at this show. At most 1,000 people. I'm going to slow down the slideshow here a little bit. There couldn't have been more than 1,000 people at this show. Tickets marked up for this. It sold out well before the card was even announced. So you damn well know they made a profit out of this, even if the Japanese talent didn't make it. They made a hell of a lot more money with the Japanese talent not being there. But think of it like this. My ticket that I bought, it was $40 to go to this thing. It was 7 matches, and it went quick. Bell rang at 7:30. This show was done by about 10 o'clock, quarter after 10. The show was supposed to be 3 hours long. Oh, no, we were done at 10. We were done at 10. They wanted in and out. After one match, immediately went into the next one. No one ever talking on a microphone. No one talking on a microphone. No one beefing a crowd up or anything like that. None of that. It was about as straightforward as cardboard-like as you could get. Gil's asking, was it better than the Portland crowd? We were better than the Portland crowd. Okay? We were better than the Portland crowd. The crowd would cheer with the high spots. The crowd would chant a little bit, just like you would imagine at any Ring of Honor or New Japan show. But the chanting was not as obnoxious as the All In show. Oh, God. The All In show was fucking obnoxious with the chanting. With this show, not so much. People were sitting there and watching it and applauding and yelling and cheering and everything. Not really a whole lot of chanting going on. But what struck me the most about this crowd was not as much how, we cheer for the high spots and just cheering for wrestling is what they were doing. They were cheering for the spots is what they were cheering for. What struck me the most was how diverse the crowd was. There were a healthy amount of women at this show. Were they attractive? No. They ranged in ages, from teenage all the way up to their 50s. What's also, and I'm glad CJ and Jamel are in here to hear this, but there was a healthy black contingency there too. These were not all cadaverous, skinned kids that live in their parents' basement. There's a fair amount of people in there that ranged in all different ages, both genders, all ethnicities. This was a great crowd. There were some kids. Not many. There were some, but not many. And I guess that's what made it kind of a better show for me. That's what really made it more fun for me instead of the All In show where it was all just a bunch of 20-something-year-old white boys. Okay? When you go to wrestling shows, especially around here in the South, Charlotte, Greensboro, Greenville, Raleigh, Durham, Concord, Spartanburg, Columbia, the Carolinas. Okay, when you come to wrestling shows in the Carolinas, everyone loves pro wrestling. Everyone. It is a family affair. It's a friendly affair. It's not a bunch of people trying to entertain themselves and trying to put themselves over everyone else. Okay? It's all everyone just going out to watch a great live show, watch some live entertainment, and have a good time. That's all it is. It's not about trying to chant and saying witty shit to get a wrestler's attention. It's about trying to hold your hand out to get a high five from a wrestler. They go over to give you a high five, and they flip you off. Or they do one of these things. Okay? That's what wrestling is about. It's about just having a good time. And yes, watching them do some athletic stuff that you yourself would never imagine that you could do. Okay? But it's not all about chanting. It's not about knowing what's going on in the back. It's not all about trying to figure out what the drama is apart from the drama that they're supposed to be showing you in the ring. That's what good wrestling is. That's what great pro wrestling is where you just lose yourself, you know? Though there are some gripes that I had with the show that I just really did not understand. Davey Boy Smith Jr. is a whole... Colt Cabana is a nice, fun act. Good babyface act. You know, with these house show atmosphere, you know. Marty Scurll, incredibly over with any crowd. Especially with this one, people knew who he was. Juice Robinson is athletic as hell. So is Trent Beretta. Their match went have any of their Japanese talent there, but I got a feeling they made a hell of a lot more money with them not being there. It may be just me. I don't know. Will they come back to Charlotte? I'm sure. But if they've got their Japanese talent with them and they've got all their paperwork done and they're coming to Charlotte, they are not coming to that arena. Okay? They're not coming to that arena. They're going to go to Independence Arena, where the Ice Capades would be, or where minor league hockey games would be played at. Okay? That's where they'd go. They'd go to an arena that could fit at least 3,000 or 4,000. Okay? Easy to lease out. Easily fill that sucker up. Okay? Simple to fill up. Quick, good gate. If I want to say anything, the tickets for this show ranged in about $40 from what I got. $40 all the way up to $150. And that was at those front rows. Okay? You can imagine they brought in a gate of a good... That's a good number to throw out there. Probably had a gate of a good 75,000. Around those lines, I'd think. Yeah, about 75,000. Could be close to 100 grand. No merchandise table. I didn't see any merchandise table anywhere to be found. Concession stands at this show were non-existent. Okay? They were down on the first level. I didn't go anywhere near the first level. I stayed up on my high-level seating, like you can see in the back there with the people sitting up top. That's where I sat. Okay? Up there was only one beer vendor that was cash only. I didn't have any cash on me, and I didn't feel like having a beer. So, again, they made their gate. They made their money from this. It was very profitable, but if they had the Japanese talent, I don't think so. They would have lost a lot of money having to pay the Japanese talent. But if and when they do come back to Charlotte, and they are going to have Japanese talent with them, needs to be in a bigger arena so they can bring in that gate, is the big thing. Because they've got a fan base here in Carolinas. They can do it. They can absolutely do it. So, I had a good time. I didn't plan on selling my ticket or scalping it or anything like that. I planned on going anyway. And I was just curious. I was just really, really curious. I'll definitely go to another New Japan show. It just really depends on when and where. You know. Yeah. Kind of glad I went to it. So, does that convert me? No. It's not going to convert me at all. Still a stupid wrestling fan that's open-minded to everything. That's all. I'm still angry with people that think that they know more than what they really do. I don't. I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm just like you. Except I'm a little more logical about it. Except I don't just watch TV and make inferences on why people aren't performing. I just watch TV and I try to figure out what the fuck's going on at WrestleMania. And I always confirm my sources when I do so. That's going to do it for this episode of Wrestleview Weekly. A very small, short, tepid episode. Not as heavily drunk, thank goodness. But I will be back next week for the go-home episode. I'll go home episodes of the Red Show, of the Blue Show, and of this show to lead us into the big Elimination Chamber Giant Cage pay-per-view that Adam and myself will cover immediately following. Contract negotiations are still going on with the Tedescos. If they are still going to be under contract with Wrestleview, we're not sure. I'm sure they want to adjust their work rate. But I would hope that before they decide to jump ship and go sign on with a t-shirt company, that at least one of them would decide to come on this program and make picks for Elimination Chamber. Because they enjoy jeopardizing my health. They've already done it with the women's tag team belts. Why not go the full gamut? Mike, Victoria. Victoria. Mike and Victoria. One of you two. I want you on this show. You're going to sit alongside me. You're going to be the DD. And you're going to make the picks for Elimination Chamber. And don't make stupid picks. Please don't just do them on purpose. You got to be logical about it, okay? But you're going to make the picks. You're going to make the locks. I'm going to do the shots. Fair? Maybe? I don't know. By the way, who am I talking about, Mike and Victoria? That's Mike and Victoria Tedesco. They cover Monday Night Raw after Raw here on this channel. They unfortunately could not do that this week due to scheduling circumstances, I believe, of some kind. But they will be here next week to do the show. Tune in 2 Sundays from now. Adam and myself will be covering Elimination Chamber. But, of course, every Wednesday at night, you got me with my really bad green screen. It's a hell of a lot better than staring at my bed sheet. So, till then, you guys take it easy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone who stopped into the chat room. And know when you're being sold to.